During World War II, 1933 to 1945, Nazi doctors had limited access to innocent human beings for any type of medical experiments in any way they chose. Our moral judgment of these experiments seems incredibly clear-cut, as it was considered mass torture and murder. The Nazi Party, a regime in Germany at that time, allowed doctors to perform these experiments in the name of science and social cleansing. It was said to be slightly influenced by Friedrich Nietzsche, a philosopher who encouraged his readers to tear themselves from utilitarian thinking and strive for individual greatness. Doctors were influenced at that time by social Darwinism, the strong idea of a superior race, as well as racial and genetic purity. They subjected mentally ill patients to humiliation, as well as targeted ethnic groups to sterilization and involuntary euthanasia, a euphemism for medical murder. These doctors had disregarded their Hippocratic medical ethics and abandoned their moral and medical ethical standards that are so commonly known and followed today. Concentration camp doctors conducted research on twins, hypothermic values, vaccines, antibiotics, and eugenics, fertility, and transplantation. During these experiments, they learned many interesting things, including the rate of cooling in humans, side effects of vaccines, and various information about twins and pregnancies, to name a few. All this information was at the expense of unwilling human beings. Along with these various medical advancements and newly obtained knowledge, many innocent people were subjected to unimaginable experiments. These experiments included being submersed in ice water until unconsciousness, high fevers from injections, and severe illnesses. A lot of those that were liberated from Nazi Germany sustained long-term injuries, mental distress, as well as fatal organ failures. These were experiments done on twins, including a very sad but poignant story involving Romanian twins from Transylvania, Eva and Miriam Kor. Miriam's story was so striking and moving it inspired the topic for this very paper, questioning ethics involved in the medical field in the mid-1900s. They were introduced to so many unknown substances via injection that Eva, Miriam's twin, ended up dying in the 90s from losing both of her kidneys to deterioration at the hands of Joseph Mengele, the angel of death. This specific kidney failure was believed to be caused by these unknown substances her and many others were subjected to as children. Although this information could be considered valuable for medical science, it poses a moral challenge. This information could be considered unethical to use in the medical world today, as it was obtained without consent. Some would debate as if it could be considered morally justifiable to use this knowledge today, although some medical experiments yielded scientifically grounded data and information that could be put to good use. Those who lived to tell stories of these gruesome times undoubtedly lived with the repercussions of the heinous acts considered medical advancement during World War II. What can surely be learned from some survivors is forgiveness is possible, as well as some of those who were guilty of the experiments, like Dr. Hans Munch, wants forgiveness. As Miriam states in the video, figuring out what forgiveness is an act of self-healing, self-liberation, and self-empowerment. Miriam says it best: remember, we cannot change what happened, but we can change how we relate to it.